Harriet, you listening to the conversation with Rotimi Fakayijo about the market. He says that yesterday was beyond expectations.
It was beyond expectations. And you see, still from what he was saying, it seems as if investors are going to continue to book profit. Maybe not as massively as we saw yesterday, because yesterday we saw big hits coming from Dangote Sugar, Nigerian Breweries, Dangote Cement, and WAPCO. Now, WAPCO, we know because they posted less than impressive results, so investors are going to continue to hit this particular equity for all it's worth. But not at this time are we going to see the markets correcting itself. Yes, it's going to flow. Go with the flow, let's just put it that way, but maybe not see as massive, as a takeoff as we saw yesterday. And according to what Rotimi is actually anticipating, today investors might begin to favor banking stocks again, take less pressure off those equities and maybe focus also on, maybe the consumer goods and industrial goods.
I was wondering whether the market smelled Dr. Yemi Kale's, the Statistician General's inflation report before we got the numbers. Perhaps this market could smell it and say, look, there's a 0.2%. That's a little bit significant for an inflation to come through and say, look, let's take book some profit, as you put it, before this inflation data comes out, because we're looking at the rest of the week.
Yeah,
now, if you look at liquidity yesterday, still very tight. We saw interbank rate, call money up to 40%. That was what came out this morning. That was massive. And that rubbed off negatively also on the equity prices, where the market cap is down below the psychological 10 trillion level.
Yes.
We have the all-share index also down below the 30,000 psychological level. We lost 40,000 long ago. We forgot what 40,000 was today on the index. That was quite disappointing. But now we're losing 30,000 level for the index just before the elections, and how much damage these elections has done to the market and investors' portfolio.
It's not very, very comforting at this time, but of course, just let me quickly, run through those numbers. Like you said, the all-share index actually dropped about 257 basis points, and the market recorded turnover of about 2 billion on 298 million shares. Now, judging from where the month actually started, and coming from February, which was quite an interesting year after January being a very tight period for the market, a lot of investors and a lot of the capital market community, let me just say, were actually expecting that, March will kind of be muted, not unconnected to the fact that we have the Monetary Policy Committee meeting, which is coming up next week, and we have the presidential.
Unfortunately, the elections were postponed till March.
So whichever way it is.
So that's for the party for some folks who thought that perhaps the elections will come in February, then they can have their ease into March. Unfortunately, the elections were postponed until March.
So whichever way it is that we look at it, investors are going to continue to tread cautiously.
April is just around the corner. We shouldn't forget that. The central bank will come in with some data for next week, Monday, Tuesday. I'm sure Emefiele will be worried right now with the rest of his 11-member team about the 0.2% inflation. Any expectations whether the central bank will go for a bit more tightening on whether the headline interest rate or the CR, both for public and private sector deposits. That is something for us next week to talk about, isn't it?
But yes, it is something we're going to talk about next week. But I don't think that the CBN will be taking any stance just yet with regards to the forex market, because as we already said, yesterday's trade showed that the markets are kind of stable at the moment, still trading around the range.
For about a month.
Well, let's not push it too far. Let's just say about
I shouldn't get too go happy again.
No, you get go happy, and then tomorrow the numbers come in, and it's always different.
I've always been happy since I need to
right
a bit dovish here.
Right now, the forex market is looking like it's stabilized by the CBN, and we're hoping that post MPC meeting the market will continue the way it is. But this morning we saw that oil prices are not looking too good. Straight, falling down, heading towards $53 per barrel as we speak. And it's not quite a good time for any market, not just the Nigerian market, but our eye, as always, is on those numbers.
Perhaps there's another disappointing news around the corner. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the 18th of March, the Federal Allocations Committee was called, the FAAC or FAC. There are indications that the amount that will be disbursed will be around 200 billion naira. If the inflation was disappointing, tomorrow there's going to be a bit more noise, this time from Abuja. And around the 36 state capitals and the FCT about if that comes through tomorrow. That's what some market sources were telling us. Sources to the ground says that the Federal Allocation Committee. Tomorrow is also the Cabinet meeting. It's Wednesdays, in case you've forgotten. Mark it on your calendar. It's every Wednesday. So tomorrow will be a very crucial one to decide how much will be shared among the three tiers of the government. So let's keep it at that. Harry, thank you very much. We will talk about Africa CEO Forum enters its final day today. And we hear from Bolaji Akinwale from Geneva, Switzerland, anchor and producer on the ground at that event. After the break, we'll talk about the Africa CEO Forum 2015. We'll be back.